Next, we have a fireside chat, both talking about Constellation and Cosmos DeFi as well too. So let's get Constellation up here. Hey, how's it going?
Hi everyone. Yeah, thanks. Doing good, doing good. What about you?
Doing good as well. Getting a little relief from the current market.
Yeah,
Hopefully, it's not a little bull trap and everything. But it seems people are still just feeling just a little bit more optimistic in the sea of red with everything too. Yeah, before we kind of dive into this kind of fireside chat here, you want to do a quick short intro of you and also Constellation.
sure. So basically about me, I started my crypto journey in 2017 as personal investor. I was just really interested by the tech. I began to do like a lot of research on like pretty much all the top 100 projects on CoinMarketCap. I was writing articles about it and stuff like that. So I've been through the last bull and bear market. And basically 2 years ago, I decided to like quit my job and find one in crypto. And that's where I was hired by Constellation as a product manager first, and then became the head of ecosystem like 6 months later. So now I'm leading projects for Constellation and involved in the Cosmos community as well, trying to spread the good words about Cosmos and about everything, all the projects that are being built there. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. And yeah, for this topic, we're talking about we've explored a few other of the intricate. Give me one quick second here. It seems like I'm having some quick little connection issues here. Let me kind of re-hop back in.
Okay. So yeah, so basically, I guess I can speak about Cosmos and how I get into there. So actually, Cosmos was one of the first project I was interested to back in 2017. Yeah, I love the IBC feature that was like already being developed at the time. And oh, you're back, awesome.
Yeah, and thanks again for for covering me. I had some connections issues. Always always how it is with live streams and everything as well. Yeah, that's kind of like what we wanted to talk about. First is just like overall, first touch on like Cosmos and IBC in general, and then can dive a little bit more into Constellation and what you guys are up to, too, in your guys' roadmap with everything. With Cosmos IBC, I guess, what attracted you guys to look at the ecosystem as a whole, and how do you see the IBC ecosystem playing out, whether it be through everybody building their own chains, the idea of the whole multi-chain world where everybody can independently build their own chain, but connect to each other through something called Cosmos IBC. For those that don't know too much about it, IBC is inter blockchain communication, allows multiple layer ones to all talk to each other. And this starts to become very interesting when it comes to DeFi, especially if you can just share liquidity, do interoperability, and cross-chain interactions across chains as well too. But love to hear from your guys' perspective on what you guys, how you guys kind of take a look at it and approach the IBC ecosystem.
Well, I think first, like I would say, like the Cosmos SDK might be one of the best place to build. So I started with Osmosis. Actually, I started with Atom, but my first DeFi experience on Cosmos was with Osmosis. And it was like what surprised me first was the user experience that was like incredible on Osmosis, because I used plenty of decks before, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and like all these kind of decks. And I always find that the user experience on there was, it was a bit tricky first. When you were a newcomer, it was a bit tricky to like understand like how it works. The trying to swap, yield farm, and like all these words were like not that like the user experience and the UX was a bit complicated to get into. But on Osmosis, like everything was like smooth and simply and simple. Sorry. And yeah, so basically, like, and Osmosis right now is like the main hub of DeFi on Cosmos, where you can find pretty much all the tokens on IBC, and it's really easy to use, and you can also yield farms there, which I love to do because it basically allows you to discover new projects on that are appearing on Cosmos. And something that they have too is liquid staking, which basically allows you to provide liquidity on certain pairs on Osmosis, and the Osmo that you use to provide liquidity can also be used to be staked on the Osmosis chain, meaning that with one Osmo you can use one Osmo both to provide liquidity and staked, which is for me in terms of tech, it's incredible. I know some other chains are trying to do that as well, but it hasn't been done yet. So it's very the Cosmos community and Cosmos projects are always on the edge of pretty much every tech out there when it comes to blockchain and DeFi. And another project that also is really interesting for the DeFi space is of course Torchain. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but basically it enables cross-chain swap in native assets. So usually when you use the wormhole bridge basically on Solana, by example, or other bridges, when you swap from the Ethereum blockchain to the Solana one, by example, the token that you received on the other one are synthetic, or they're not the native assets. They're just something that is being created, and whenever the token comes back, then it's burned, and that happened. But with Torchain, basically they enable cross-chain swap, which is once again basically they're the first to do that right now, and they do it for the biggest tokens on on the top 10 on CoinMarketCap, and they are trying to develop and import more and more tokens on there. But it's something really good because it enables to remove all the bridge issues that we have seen, all the bridge hack that is happening, and it's something very very new and at the edge of any tech that we have seen so far.
And how does I guess the Konstellation kind of play along with all that too? You guys are going to interact with Osmosis as the Osmosis the central hub, or you guys kind of hosting liquidity and your guys' own DeFi dApps and applications on Konstellation?
So basically, we built our native blockchain on Cosmos to basically make the most of the IBC features and all the fact that Cosmos is also a hub that is very easy to be interoperable with other blockchains such as Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, and others. Even it's still being worked on right now, but I think the Cosmos being on Cosmos is going to be a huge leap forward for the multi-chain world when there will be a multi-chain world. I think the Cosmos blockchain is the best one to build on because it's the one that are the most accessible to others. So right now we don't have that much projects built on Cosmos. We are building stuff on Solana, so I won't talk about that right now because we're not here for that. But basically, what we try to do is build our native blockchain on Cosmos to be sovereign, as you explained earlier, and then being connected to other blockchain to build applications there. And in terms of roadmap and stuff.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of roadmap and stuff like that.
Yeah, love to hear more about that too.
So right now
you're having little connections issues.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, like I was saying, in terms of product roadmap, so we're building stuff on Solana, something called Taybit. You can check it if you want, but I won't talk about it today because it's not the place for. But yeah, basically what we're trying to do is to connect different blockchain and all the DeFi space together, and that's why we choose Cosmos because it's for us the best place to be interoperable. But we are still building, and we are basically building right now, and we will keep building and do that.
And so when you guys are kind of like building for, like, let's say Solana and these other chains as well too, is the idea that you guys are going to be building bridges or just being able to allow Solana projects come into the IPC ecosystem as well too? Or am I like misunderstanding, or am I understanding that correctly?
Kind of both, actually. So the first stuff that we're gonna build dApps on Solana, and we'll hopefully we'll also try to make Solana projects come into Cosmos or being interoperable with Cosmos, because something that is missing right now, I feel like, for the DeFi space in Cosmos, is like other projects. So because like every Cosmos project is pretty much already present in Osmosis, as I said earlier. But what we need right now is trying to bring like Ethereum projects, Solana projects, Polkadot, etc., to like make them interoperable with Cosmos, so like everyone can be connected with each other, and so yeah, basically being try to make the DeFi industry more seamless as it is right now. And something that is really good that is gonna happen soon is like the importation of like a DYDX on Cosmos, which is like a big news that you might have heard, because like DYDX is like one of the main platform on Ethereum right now, and the fact that they have chosen Cosmos to build their own sovereign chain means a lot, because first it will bring a lot of new users to the Cosmos community, and it's something that we have been missing. I feel like in the Cosmos community, because like there's a lot of builders in Cosmos, and thanks to all the tech, but we are a bit lagging in terms of users compared to like bigger chains like Ethereum, Solana, and like the fact that DYDX is going to come build stuff on Cosmos is definitely going to bring more users, and that it will. I feel like it will benefit the whole ecosystem there.
Yeah, I think that the DYDX move was a really big. It was breaking news at the time that they announced that as well too. One, it just kind of affirms that Cosmos SDK and the IBC ecosystem is super interesting, but also seeing the move from a big dApp, being able to go in and run essentially their own dApp chain. And there's so much reasons behind that. I'm sure that there's much more efficient. You're running your own chain, all the throughput and everything that you're trying to transact within your DeFi, especially for DYDX, how much users they have. They need to continue to be more scalable, but also be independent from them too. And I think that's what the Cosmos ecosystem and SDK allowed them to really build off and migrate over. But the idea of being able to be interoperable, you can still build, like you said, like Konstellation, you guys are building your own chain, but still go back outwards to other things like Solana, Ethereum, etc., to be able to share liquidity, bridge that, and interoperate between that as well. And later on, later today too, we're going to be heavily talking and deep diving into interoperability more specifically. But that's something that is a good reminder for everybody that's been listening here too, is that we are already living in a multi-chain, cross-chain world. It's not about being a single chain maxi. Obviously, we have Ethereum merge and Ethereum 2.0 coming, but that's everybody keeps thinking that's going to solve the scalability side. It really isn't, and even then, it's not like a winner takes all situation.
When it comes to scalability and like gas fees as well, I would say Cosmos is a great chain for that, because when you see like the gas fees on Ethereum, it's like pretty big, and even with like the merge coming and like the rollups, like the scalability is still going to be an issue. I feel on Ethereum, because like it's already known that like with like the number of transactions, like it's going to be an issue. So I feel like on the tech side, at least, it's more easy to build your own sovereign chain where you're going to basically host your own transactions there, and it's basically like kind of like a roll up for each chain. So like,
Mm-hmm.
all the transactions on the Konstellation blockchain, is going to happen on our blockchain, and like on the Osmosis blockchain is going to happen there, instead of like, everything happening on Ethereum, or one of the roll up, like Arbitrum, Optimism, and or the layer two. So I feel like, yeah, that's definitely like the good way to do, to reach, the multi-chain world that we are all building.
Yeah, I think that's another good, great point as well too. Kind of like seeing that as each of these as its own layer, or their own roll up as well too. For I guess when it comes to like the IBC ecosystem as well, we've seen that there's been a lot of different I guess point of views on like how the ecosystem is kind of like moving forward, and I think that that's like a great way and great proof of the spirit of decentralization, right? Even if there are differentiating points, whether it be different chains wanting to do different things for the IBC ecosystem, everybody can kind of either vote on it, their own DAO, or contribute it, or not even like connect to each other as well too. It's a very different infrastructure compared to like Polkadot, for example, where everything has to run through a pair chain auction slot, and you kind of have to bid for it, right? Like it's a little bit more centralized in that aspect, right? Like you think about it, you have to get permission to launch a chain on the in the ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, Polkadot and Cosmos has been, kind of like being like in the face of like for like a while concerning the interoperability features. It's like basically Cosmos versus Polkadot, and now there's like Avalanche kind of. But the fact that basically you have to pay to be on Polkadot, or you can be on Kusama for free, but it's like the Canary network. But like the fact that on Cosmos, like everyone can join, you don't have like to like pay to get your spot, is like a major plus. And well, the thing that Cosmos was lagging was like, the marketing side, where I feel like Polkadot was better on the promoting themselves and do stuff like that. But right now, like it's being worked on by the Tendermint team, and all the guys behind Cosmos, trying to catch up on the marketing side of things. And something also like really interesting I wanted to mention about what's happening in the Cosmos ecosystem, or DeFi, was wait, let me come back. Was the fact that like Ethereum bridge, are being built. So like there's like Evmos, a chain. So it's like an EVM compatible chain. So like they try, to being a bridge to Ethereum, to like bring all these DeFi protocol on Cosmos as well. And it's something like, that is really good for the space. And every every project on Cosmos is trying to reach to others. And especially like something big, because like Cosmos was like kind of like a big industry, or it was being in the DeFi space thanks to Luna. And since the Luna collapsed, like basically a lot of liquidity like kind of like disappeared, because like Luna is pretty much worth nothing now. So it was like a big strike for the Cosmos community. But then we managed to like build from that, and like come back, and like all these new projects are coming onward, and trying to reach us, the Cosmos community and all the Cosmos team, and that's great. And yeah, one last thing is like the Juno blockchain. So basically Juno is like a layer one blockchain on Cosmos that enables anyone to build smart contracts on there. And I think there will be like a lot of potential thanks to that, because I've seen some projects basically trying to build algorithmic DeFi protocol. So meaning you basically lock your funds in a smart contract, and the smart contract will rebalance on a weekly or daily basis your DeFi yields. So like I feel for me that's like one of the futures, or the future of DeFi is like about that, trying to build the best way to make yields, and like yield farms, and like get returns, and being able to do that through smart contracts is going to be a huge plus. And Juno is going to be allow people or projects to do that. So that's going to be like a major advantage in the coming months and years.
Looks like we got some Juno alpha there too, so
yeah,
to hear about. Despite Luna, the whole algo stablecoin things too, but what at least that kind of proved out in terms of what was super interesting was that Luna at least was able to really prove how big a scalable DeFi solution and user base could be. Obviously, it imploded, and it fully imploded for many other reasons outside of the tech itself. It's really from the algo, how they structured the algo and Anchor and all the bank run and all that stuff too. Despite what happened, still, we saw what happened with Celsius and others as well. It's not like CeFi is any different. DeFi is still in the super infancy phase, and I still think that there's a real need for a decentralized dollar, and we'll see that again soon. And we hope that did a major blow to the Cosmos DeFi ecosystem, at least temporary in the short term run, because UST was the stablecoin of choice for IBC and Cosmos DeFi.
But actually, so one of the things which is I find amazing about Cosmos is like basically like UST was the only kind of like the only stablecoin that we had on Osmosis or on other chain because it was so big and like everybody was using it. And as soon as it collapsed, like it took like 1 or 2 weeks for like Axelar, which is basically like a cross-chain bridge, and like they imported like DAI, USDC, and maybe another stablecoin that I don't remember, but basically they bridge that to Osmosis. So basically, since the USD crash, it took only 2 weeks to like have stablecoins being back on Osmosis. And that was like really useful for like the whole community, and like that really shows that like people care about like the Cosmos community as a whole, and that's something also important for the DeFi space. Having like a community that cares about other projects and the DeFi users is something that is going to be like really important. We talk about the Cardano community that being really engaged. Even if the project was like lagging behind and stuff like that, and I feel like with Cosmos, like the community is great. Like everyone will be always ready to help you, and the tech is also at the edge. So you get best of both worlds. You got the tech, you got the community. So right now we just need the users to come.
Yeah, and I think that's with also to the usability of Cosmos, and I think a lot of that's been great so far through the wallet experience from Kepler and all these other guys, and then also to like Osmosis trying to make it easy, Konstellation obviously too playing a role in that part, and that was one comment that people said that out of all still DeFi in general, like Luna did make it super easy in terms of UX UI still. Regardless, if you take away what happened behind the coin and everything too, but just like the way that they launched some of their products from Anchor and the dApps that they built, it was super easy, and that's what really helped them almost hit critical mass and mainstream in a way, because people were able to like move their assets and also just transact within the ecosystem as well. We always see a huge friction point when it comes to usability, and usability is needed for DeFi, especially and then you get into like NFT.
I mean, like for me, like usability is like the main strength that a blockchain or like a dApps needs to have. Like when you use something, especially if it's your first time, like you need to like understand things quickly, and being able to use it without major issues of like a transaction failing or other stuff. And like so far my experience on the different Cosmos projects was like amazing, and like without any issues that I had on Ethereum. Like I use Ethereum a lot. Like I'm always a bit mad when I have to pay like $50 in gas fees for just like a transaction, or when I'm on Solana and like the transactions keep failing because there's like an overload. But on Cosmos, I haven't experienced that at all at any moment. There was like a small hack on Osmosis back in during Dcentral. Like at the end of the first day of Dcentral, there was like a major hack, or hack was like revealed, an exploit exactly. But basically, it took the team like like the 2 or 3 days to fix it. Like they and then it was it. So it's definitely something that that is really good for all the DeFi users. And now with all the projects building stuff with interoperability. That's definitely gonna be like more and more demand for the DeFi application on Cosmos.
Yeah, and I think that's what's been for me like really amazing, just following following along the journey from a lot of the IBC projects, even if there's like some issues. Let's say like Juno had some stuff happening as well with obviously from dealing with the whales, and we got to see like DAOs and governance in action. Obviously not everybody will agree, but that's the nature of it. As long as the majority or general consensus can come to it. We've been able to see some very big decisions and propositions come into play across Osmosis, Juno, FMOS, and all these other protocols as well.
So I would say something important for the DeFi is like the governance model, and it's something that is being like tried out like every day on Osmosis and Juno, like you just mentioned. But I feel like that's the first time that I actually witnessed like governance happening. So like people are arguing, or I mean in the good way, but they speak about like their view and their opinions on dedicated like Discord channels or Telegram. But that's how you reach you reach a consensus. And that's how you create governance. And of course, sometimes you're gonna have issues like with the Juno whales that you mentioned. But you don't really make a cake without breaking eggs. So that's how that's how we are doing it. And so far, it's been the best way to find solutions within the whole community.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're hitting the tail end here too for our little fireside chat, and it's great having you here, and thanks for also joining us at our Dcentral event as well too. We'll be having, for those that have been watching too, we'll have a full interoperability talk. We actually have it's from our Dcentral Austin talk, one of them as well. We have Composable Finance, Axeler, Invarch, and a few others as well. So you're gonna see. Later on around 2:30 or so, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, a rebroadcast of a very heavy talk, which was about interoperability. Half the panel is Cosmos, half the panel is Polkadot. Again, I love both ecosystems, and it's everybody's doing their own different thing. There's different approaches to that. It's not like one size fits all. Axeler obviously is a great bridge between both worlds. To be able to kind of share, learn each other. Composable is also bridging IBC with the Polkadot and parachains as well too, by being able to utilize that or even share liquidity across what's happening there. And it's no different than what you said with Axeler bridging in liquidity from USDC from ETH into the Osmosis ecosystem. That helped out a lot to help provide a stablecoin and stablecoin liquidity and move that into the IBC ecosystem too. And that's what we continue to see forward, is that interoperability within DeFi and across multiple chains. And we can still be more there too. But any last thoughts you want to kind of share on your side? And I'm sure we'll definitely see you again soon and hear more further updates too.
For sure. Well, thanks a lot for inviting me. Thanks everyone for watching during the whole day. And definitely if you've never tried any Cosmos dApps, just try it out. Go on Osmosis. Just send an atom and have fun there. You will definitely have an amazing experience, and I feel like you won't regret it.
Thanks. We'll catch you again soon, and we'll have last few more talks here for those that are tuning in. Shout out to everybody again that's tuning in from YouTube, Twitter, etc. We'll see. Thanks again for hopping on, and we'll see you guys again soon.